Everybody, and welcome to class. Happy Tuesday. Hope you had a nice, lovely, long weekend. It was great and sunny. Hope you got to get outside and enjoy some beautiful weather. I sure did. All right, so I'm not sure, there might be some new students here in the lower class, just in case you are new. My name is Melanie, and I'll be teaching the lower level PST online for the time being. So if it's your first time here, nice to meet you. If you regularly do watch my videos, welcome back and good to see you. All right, so even though it's Tuesday, what we are going to do is we're going to be working with Monday's material. So if you are in class right now, please access your materials for Monday and just pretend the Tuesday materials do not exist, just for this week. So, as you may or may not know, Monday is when we introduce our grammar point. So we're going to be starting off with grammar today. Next, we have vocabulary. So this vocabulary will be related to this week's theme, which I'm going to tell you in just a moment. And then for the third class, which is our elective, it's actually going to be about how to do your assignment. Okay, so what is this week's theme? This week's theme is called this. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my, won't you be my, won't you be my neighbor? Anyone know Mr. Rogers? Very classic TV show here in Canada, America. Maybe you've seen it too. So as you can tell, this week's theme is neighborhoods. Like, we're going to be talking about the neighborhood. So this will be a great chance for you, especially in the assignment, which I will explain later on, to tell me all about your neighborhood. You get to tell me where you live and what kind of, amenities and cool things there are in your neighborhood. Maybe you got some fun restaurants. Maybe you live by the river. Maybe you live in downtown where it's really busy and really noisy. What kind of neighborhood do you live in? Feel free to let me know in the comments if you'd like to quickly tell me what kind of neighborhood you live in. So today, like I said, grammar is going to be related to the neighborhood because our grammar is going to help us describe where things are in the neighborhood. Our vocabulary is going to be focusing on buildings or amenities in the neighborhood. And of course, our assignment, guess what? You're going to be talking about your neighborhood. Okay, guys, so let's get started with grammar then. So what is grammar today? As you can see, prepositional phrases. Now, what are those, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. So prepositional phrases, you use them when you want to describe where something is. So for example, right now, I am in the classroom. I am in the classroom. Okay, so the preposition here is in. So this is one preposition. Now, can you guys think of any other prepositions? Can you guys think of any other examples? In is one of many prepositions we have in English. So please type out any other additional prepositions you can think of. Anything that's not in. Anything else. Let's see. Oh, someone said at. Very good. Yeah, at is one. And what else? On. Very good. Yeah, so those are a few good examples. Right on. Very nice. So actually, those are two very good suggestions because these are the prepositional phrases I want us to focus on for the first half of the grammar class. All right, so here you can see we got a handy dandy little table. So please bring out this sheet because it'll be quite helpful. And I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, so we have at, and we have in, and we have on. Okay, so let me just pull out something else. All right. Now, I'm also going to refer to this sheet right now. You don't have to pull this out at the moment because I will get to it later, but I'm just going to be referring to a few points from here. So, at, as you see here, it's a position at a point. So, here I'm going to put meaning. Okay. Whoop. And then, so this is position at a point. So this might look kind of weird and slightly complicated, but think of it like this. So here I have, let's see, let's call this the zoo. Let's go to the zoo. So where am I? I am at the zoo. We don't say on or in the zoo. I am at the zoo. So this is the point we are at. So this is probably the most commonly used preposition, I think. This one is used very often. So it's usually used when we're talking about locations, when we're at a location. All right, what are some more examples? Okay, so, of course, we have many, many more down here. I'm not going to write them all down right now, but we have work. So, for example, oh, where's your dad? He's at work right now. He's at work. And what else? We have, I'm at, let's see, maybe I get a phone call from my mother and she's worried about me. Ring. Hey, Melanie, where are you? Oh, hey, Mom. I'm at my friend's house right now. I'll come home soon. I'm at my friend's house. Friend's house. Okay. So I'd say when in doubt, use at, almost always. Okay, so now in, what does in mean? So in, so I gave you the example before, I'm in the classroom. Now, why didn't I say I'm at the classroom? So the reason why I said I'm in the classroom and not at the classroom is because I'm inside an enclosed space. So here I am actually inside the classroom. So like the door's over here, but like I am in a room with a bunch of walls. So, for example, I'm in the classroom. I'm in the classroom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, and so when do you use in? So you use it for, here it says places seen in 3 dimensions. So that's kind of a funny way to close it. So, that's a funny way to say it. So I'm just going to say within an enclosed space. So enclosed. So just think of like you're in something. And also it's used with larger places. So for example, what is a large place? Canada. Canada is huge. So when we talk about countries, we always say in countries. So I live in Vancouver, Canada. Oh yeah, and for cities, Vancouver, Canada. So, larger places, cities, countries. So, that is when we use in. All right, we clear? And once again, there are so many examples here. So, for example, I'm in, like, where are you? Oh, I'm in the house. I'm waiting for you. And typically for cars, usually we are in a car. So remember that. I'm in my car. This is going to be kind of like, this vehicle thing is going to get funny. So remember this, car is in. But what about bus and airplane and train? Okay, I will explain that later. So that's in, at, in, and on. Okay, so on, what does on mean? So think about on as being on a surface. Typically, this is what I think of for on. My top hand on my bottom hand. I am standing on the floor, so there's pressure on the floor. Not a good example, sorry. I will do better. Okay, so on, basically, this is something that touches a surface. So, for example, right. So, let's say this is, what shall we make this? This is my bedroom. This is my boring bedroom. Oh, but no, I actually have something very cool. I have a beautiful Titanic poster. You guys know Titanic, the movie that I love so dearly? All right, so I have a Titanic movie poster on the wall of my bedroom. So it's touching a surface. So we're gonna say on. And what are some other good examples? And okay, this is another strange, okay, this one might sound a little bit strange, but is seen as a point on a line. So what does this mean? So for example, I'm on my way to school. So here's me. Here is the school. School. So I'm going in a direction. So this is a direction I'm going in, and we're going to be using on. I'm on my way to school. After I finish school, I will be on my way to England on a nice family vacation. So that is when we use on. And again, so many examples here. Here's a really good one for giving directions. Okay, so I'm going to erase the on the way to school. Sorry. Okay. On the corner of. Okay. So let's say this is Pender Street. Pender Street. And this is Butte. I think you know what I'm going to be drawing here, right? Here is our school, GC. So this is GC, Global College. So here we can say Global College is on the corner. So this is a corner here. On the corner of what? Of Pender Street and Butte Street. Of Pender and Butte. I'm not going to write street because I'm lazy. So this is one of the most useful ways to use on, because in your assignment, you might actually be using on the corner a lot to describe locations. Also, you can say, oh, McDonald's, it's on Burrard Street. So typically when we're describing where buildings are in the city, we almost always say on street. So this is a good one to remember. Now, okay, the funny thing I was going to talk about with transportation. So please don't ask me why we do this, but in English, we say in the car, but we say on the train or on a plane. Again, I'm not really sure what happened in the English language to make us decide in a car, on a train, on a plane. I don't know what happened, but the best way to remember it is in a small car. And then the train and the plane are bigger, so you're going to be on them. That's just the best way I could explain it for now, but it's a funny English rule, so just something to be careful of, that's all. Okie dokie, how we doing, guys? I think that is enough for at, in, and on. Those are the first three of many prepositions. We have some more to learn about. But for now, let's do a little activity and let's see what we learned. So I would like you guys to please pull out this sheet here. It should say teach this at the top. And we are going to fill in the blanks here. And you're going to have to choose between at, in, and on. All right, so I'm going to erase the board in just a second, but feel free to take a picture of this if you need. I changed this a lot, I'm sorry. So if you need to rewind the video and take a picture, go for it. So I'm going to erase this in 3, 2, 1, and it is gown. In, at, on. So when you're describing where things are in your house, if you're talking about a bedroom, if you're talking about a room, for example, if you have a bed, you're going to say, I have a bed in my room. But if you're talking about things that are like on the wall or on the ceiling, you're often going to say, I have a big fan on my ceiling. I have many posters on my wall. Just something to remember if you're ever describing rooms in your house. Okay, so you have to choose between, at, in, or on. And let's see, we're probably just going to do like 4 or 5 of these together because it's going to get long and boring otherwise. So, okay, number 1, this already might be a bit of a tricky one. All right. I enjoy going for walks, the countryside. Okay, so I'm going to give you a hint. The countryside is a big place. It is a large area. So do you think you're going to be at the countryside, in the countryside, or on the countryside? Tell me what you think. And we're also going to do number 2. When I fly, like when I take an airplane, I like to arrive the airport before check-in time. Arrive at the airport, in the airport, or on the airport? What do you think the answer is going to be? Okay, so we have an answer for number 1. Someone said in, and that is correct. Nice. I enjoy going for walks in the countryside because the countryside, it's a very big, vast land. So we're going to say in this case. As for the airport, somebody wrote at. Very good. I like to arrive at the airport. It's a point that you are going to. All right. And number 3. I like listening to music, the car. Okay, I feel like you'll be able to get this one because I made a little bit of a big deal, maybe too much of a big deal, about car versus train and plane. Music at the car, in the car, or on the car. And we'll do number 4 as well. Oh, this one's tricky. Okay, I didn't describe all of number 4, but let's see what you can do. Oh, and we got in the car for number 3. Nice. Okay, so I live blank the 8th floor blank 25 Cambridge Road. Cambridge Road, blank Bristol. Okay, so this is a city in England. So you might be able to get some of these. You might be able to get this right. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a picture here. So here we have a building. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so let's say this is floor number 8. This is where this person lives. So think about it as a surface. So what do you think is going to go here? And this is an address. 25 Cambridge Street or road. So let's say this is the address. So what do we use for addresses and streets? Actually, okay, let's see what you guys guess. Okay, so someone wrote on the 8th floor, very good, at 25 Cambridge Road in Bristol. Excellent, very, very good. Yeah, that's it. All right, so when you're talking about which floor of a building you live on, we say, I live on. So for example, I live on the 2nd floor of a building at 1205 8th Avenue, at 1205 8th Avenue in New Westminster, city name. Now, I am really, really sorry. I know this is not ideal, but I really have to use the washroom super duper quickly. I apologize. So I'm going to be back in a really quick 5 minutes. Please feel free to work through this worksheet and I will be back as soon as possible. I will see you soon. Hello, we are back. My apologies, so sorry I had to duck off there, guys. Thank you for your patience while waiting. All right, so how did we do with the rest of these? So let's go over some of these, not every single one again. So let's do number 5 and let's do number 6, and then I think we will call it a day for the in and at. Okay. Number 5. Okay, so number 5, when I'm blank home, I like to sit blank the sofa. So that's the couch. Okay, so I wrote couch instead of sofa, sorry. Sofa, couch, same thing. So what prepositions are we going to use here? So home is a bit of a special one. When I'm home, I like to sit the couch. Okay, we have at home, very good. When I'm at home, I like to sit on the couch and read a book. Nice. Okay, good stuff, guys. Okay, so because we're a little tight on time, I actually want to move on to part B, because I think this is pretty good little review and practice of when to use in, on, and at. So in your free time, feel free to go over the rest of these if you like. Okay, so let's get rid of this ugly building I drew. And let's do B. Okay, so part B. Complete the rules for the prepositions in, on, and at. Okay, so we use blank with buildings such as a house or the bank. Buildings. And we use blank with lines such as the coast, the path. So what do you guys think? So with buildings, so let's say, for example, you're texting your friend, hey, what time do you want to meet? Let's meet at 2 o'clock, the Starbucks. So what do you think are we going to use? At, in, or on? Okay. So the answer is yes, at. Very good. So we use at with buildings when you're talking about like meeting at a point of a building. Now with lines, so such as, you know, the coast, West Coast, British Columbia, we are going to use on. Very good. On. So usually we walk on a path. So for example, I walked on a path through the forest. It was beautiful. And with enclosed spaces, enclosed. Remember I used this word a couple minutes ago? So for example, a room or a building. Okay, so it's a bit different from this. Think of it as, you know, you're like enclosed in something. So for example, I couldn't find my friend. So we were supposed to meet at the Starbucks. I couldn't find my friend, so I went the Starbucks. In, very good. I went in the Starbucks to look for my friend. So inside a building or in a room. Next, surfaces. Surfaces. So for example, the wall or the floor. At home, I am a barbarian and I love to sit the floor. It's true, it's weird. So are you going to use at the floor, in the floor, or on the floor? What do you guys think? And you are right, good. On the floor, very nice, very nice. On is with surfaces. Okay, and 2 more. So I am going to erase, and I'll erase that, and I'm going to erase these as well. Take a picture if you need to. 3, 2, 1, and they're gone. All right. We just got 2 more. So we use, what do we use with a point? So for example, you know, the bus stop, the entrance. Maybe you want to meet at the entrance of Starbucks, meet at the bus stop. So with a point, what are we going to use? At, in, or on? And it is at. Very good. You use at with a point. And finally, with limited areas. With limited, or as I like to say, large areas. So like the park, or countries, or cities, the countryside. So what are we going to use here? Remember, where do I live? I live in Canada. I love to go for a walk the countryside. Yes, the answer is indeed in. Very good. All right, guys, so those are the basic rules for in, at, and on. I think these are the 3 prepositions we use the most in English. So these 3 are pretty important to kind of, you know, get the hang of. So hopefully you guys were okay with that. If you have any questions during the lesson, do let me know. Okay, so we're going to put this sheet away, and we're going to put this other one away. And let's see. Let me take a look. Sorry, I'm just trying to find, there's so many preposition sheets, so I'm just trying to get my stuff together. All right. Across, over. Okay, so let's pull this one out. We are not going to do every single thing, but I want to go over some of these. All right, so I'm going to be drawing a couple pictures to kind of, so we can get an idea of some of these prepositions. Okay, so let's get through all this. Okie dokie. Actually, maybe I should go through all of them. Okay, yeah, what I think I will actually do is I'm going to try to go through as many of these as quickly as I can. So it's going to be a lot of me drawing pictures of positions and giving examples. So forgive me if my explanation does get a bit long-winded. And if we have to continue into the second part of the lesson, we will. All right, so more prepositions. Okay, so we have above. Okay, so for example, here is me and here is a bird. So this bird is flying above me. So the bird is higher than me. So that's what above means. Okay, and the opposite, let's do it in opposites because I think this will make it easier. The opposite is below. So this is under. So for example, look at all this grass. So I am stepping on the grass below me. And I'm looking at the birds in the sky above me. Above, below. All right, so those are 2 prepositions out of the way. Woohoo! All right, next, let's do across. Okay, so here is a street. Let's say this is McDonald's, and let's say this is Starbucks, everyone's favorite coffee company. And this is a street here. So in this case, oops, I forgot to write down. Starbucks is across from McDonald's. So this is what a cross is. I should get us another pen. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that in blue. This is a cross. Now, I am going to give you another one, another preposition. Okay, so here we have McDonald's. What else? Tim Hortons. That's another really good Canadian chain. Okay, so here we have McDonald's and then we have Tim Hortons. These two are next to one another or beside. So this is beside, or we could say next to. It doesn't matter which one you use. Both of them are the same. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Big burp. All right. So McDonald's is next to or beside Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons. And Starbucks is across from McDonald's. So I know I'm shortening it to mix for short because, kind of lazy. But so when you say across, don't forget to add from at the end. Across from. GC is across from Waves Coffee. Oh, not anymore. No, never mind. There used to be a Waves Coffee across from us. Now it's something different. I don't remember what store it is, though. Okay, so those are our kind of opposites. So I'll let you take pictures if you need to. I'm going to erase the board in a sec because it is getting kind of busy. So go ahead, take a picture in 3, 2, 1, and it's gone. Do you guys live across from any cool businesses or next to any businesses? Do you live next to a McDonald's or across from a Starbucks? I used to live next to a McDonald's and next to a Starbucks. Not anymore though. Now I live across from a convenience store. It's not bad. Okay, so what else do we have? After. Okay, so after, so this means to follow something. So for example, here is a cat, not a very good looking cat. And then here is a dog. It's very happy and it's chasing after the cat. So the dog ran after the cat. So the dog ran after the cat. And what's the opposite? The opposite is before. So this means to come in front of something. So the cat ran before the dog. The dog. Okay. So before, think of it as this being first. After, think of it as being second. So also, another way you could say, actually no, I will not do it like that. Okay, so that is after and this is before. And what is a good one? Ooh, against. Okay, against. Okay, so against is basically when two surfaces meet. So for example, I am pushing against the blackboard right now. So it's me, one surface, the blackboard, another surface. I am pushing against it. Typically, when you're talking about your bedroom, for example, maybe your bed is pushed against the wall. So here's your bed. Bed, that is the wall. My bed is pushed against the wall. My bed's actually like this. My bed is pushed against the wall too. Pushed against the wall. So that is against. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the dog and the cat. They were not good drawings anyway. They were sad stick animals. Okay. Let's do along. Along. Okay, so this is kind of similar to on. So along is when it's like in a line from one point to another. So let's say, for example, here is a path in the forest. Okay. So this is me. Do, 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 do. And I'm kind of walking in this direction. So I walked along a path among the trees. And among is another good one. I get asked about among a lot. Among. So among is in a group. So here you have a group of trees. So I am walking among the trees. I'll write this down. I walked along a forest path. A forest path among the trees. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions about this, because I do get asked this quite often. Don't worry if you don't quite get it. I can give more examples if need be. So I walked along. You could say I walked on a path. That's totally okay too. But this is also very common in English when we're talking about like walking in a line towards somewhere. Okay, so now we are going to move on to this page. How are we doing? We getting tired yet? I know there's a lot of prepositions. I'm trying to get through them as quick as we can, just so we don't get too tired out. So I'm going to erase this forest path in 3, 2, 1, and mysterious forest path is gone. Okay, what's next? On to, okay. So on to is very similar to on. So this is when you're moving to a place. So typically when you're going from, for example, you go from standing to sitting. So let's say here is a chair. Boop, 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 boop. And now you are sitting in the chair. So I sat onto the chair. So if you say sat on the chair, that's okay too, but onto is usually used when you are going from one action to another. Here's another example. Spider-Man jumped onto the building. Okay, so next we have opposite. Opposite. Okay, so this is similar to across actually. So I'm going to go back to my Starbucks and McDonald's. Okay, here's the street. So here we could say Starbucks is opposite McDonald's. Or you could say opposite to McDonald's. So Starbucks is opposite. Actually, I will not write out the sentence. I think you got it. So you could say Starbucks is across from McDonald's, or you could say Starbucks is opposite of McDonald's. Okay, what else do we have? Ooh, over. Let's do over. All right. So here we have, let's see, here's the ground and here's a wall. And let's say we have a very agile cat. Woo! So this cat jumps over the wall. So it's when you're jumping over or going over something. The cat jumped over the wall. Now, what's the opposite of over? That's right, it's under. Okay, so can we go under a wall? So let's say we have a dog, and let's say the dog wants to catch the cat, But the dog can't jump over the wall. So what's it going to do? It's going to dig a hole under the wall. So let's say, then the dog popped out over here. So after it dug a hole under the wall. Woo, okay. The dog dug, so that dig, that means to go underground, dug a hole under the wall. The wall. Okay, so here we go. There we go. We're getting some of these. Okay. And what do we have next? Past. Oh, past is probably good. Okay. Past. All right. So I just erased it, but I'm going to draw the stores again. All right. So once again, here's McDonald's. And here, let's say, here's Tim Hortons. And let's say GC is over here, even though we're nowhere near McDonald's. So maybe, let's say you're lost and you're asking someone for directions. So you're going to say, excuse me, how do I get to GC? So someone's going to tell you, walk past the McDonald's. So walk past the McDonald's. Don't go to the McDonald's, but walk past the McDonald's. Walk past the McDonald's, McD's, and you'll get to GC. All right, and what else? Through is a good one, I think. So I'm going to get rid of this messy wall drawing here. Okay. So through is when you want to go, let's see. So here is the forest. Forest. Let's pretend there are many trees. And here is the city. And here is you. So maybe you had to walk through the forest to get to the city. You can also walk through buildings. So let's say, for example, oh, it was a very hot day outside. So I walked through the building so I could get some cool air conditioning action in there. I walked through the building. Okay, guys, so we are out of time, but we will continue with this after the break. We'll finish the rest of the prepositions, and later on we're going to move on to vocabulary. Okay, guys, so we'll see you in 10 minutes after the break. Bye-bye. back to class. Hope you had a nice little break there. Okay, so we're gonna hop right back to the grammar, and I promise we'll try to finish up within the next 5 minutes with this. I know these are a lot of prepositions to get through, but let's get to it. Okay, so between. All right, so for example, here's GC school. GC is between the supermarket and the Tim Hortons. All right, and now we are going to talk about something that is near to us. What is near? Oh, we got the library. Okay, so the library is near, is near GC. Or we could also say the library is, let me rewrite that out. My apologies. This is too small. Okay, so let's get rid of the cinema. Sorry, cinema. The library is near, or you could say close to GC. So this means it's not too far away. It's near. So that means like you're close to it. You're near. All right. And I think this is the last one. So here we have a hill. So this person is going up. So he is walking up the hill. And the opposite is, of course, down. He is going down the hill. So you can also talk about it with streets. I walked up the street, or I walked down the street. Usually it doesn't matter if you use up or down, but if the street has a slope, you know, if you're going like this, boop, 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 you're going down the street. But if you're going like this, boop, 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 you're going up the street. Hopefully that was an okay visual for you there. Okay, so I think that's it for prepositions. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but I do recommend you give this a quick look over just to review and study it. Okie doke. If you have any questions though, especially if I forgot anything in here, feel free to ask me. Okay, so next, I would like us to work on this fun activity here. So I don't think we have enough people for teams, unfortunately. So we'll kind of just make this a discussion. So please take out this sheet. It should have should have a series of rectangles for you to write in. And they're all numbered 1, 2, 3. So I'll get rid of all this. Excuse me. Oh, my throat is getting sore from all the speaking. Okay. I taught a class earlier today, so that's why my throat's like getting a little bit scratchy. I'm not used to talking this much. I'll get used to it though. Okay, so name 3 things you should never run towards. Okay, so let's do the first one together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so number 1, name 3 things you would never run towards. Okay, this may have been one I forgot actually. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put it under new words. This is a preposition, towards. Okay, so for example, I walked towards. Okay, so I keep using Starbucks. I'm sorry, I don't know what my deal is with this place. I don't even go there that often. So I walked, looks like I'm running, but let's just pretend I'm walking. I walked towards Starbucks. Okay, so this is similar to the prepositional, to the preposition to. You are going towards, like you're going in a direction. So for example, right now, I am walking towards the camera. Now I'm walking away from the camera. So the opposite of towards is away. And this is another preposition I didn't go over. Again, I am sorry. So I walked towards the Starbucks. But This question is now asking, name 3 things you would never run towards. Okay, so if you're thirsty, maybe you will run towards the Starbucks. But what should you not run towards? For example, maybe you should never run towards cars. That's a good one. Never run towards cars. That is dangerous. The car will hit you otherwise, and that's never fun. Okay, now I want you guys to think of some ideas. Cars. Oh, somebody said bears. That's a good one. Never run towards bears. Also dangerous. They will attack you, maybe. Can anyone think of one more thing we should never run towards? So don't run towards cars, don't run towards bears, and don't run towards, what do you think? How about maybe dogs? What do you think about dogs? If you run towards dogs, sometimes they get scared and they might attack you. So you can walk towards a dog, but you shouldn't run towards a dog. Okay, so that's how we're going to do this activity, guys. So let's continue. Get rid of this. And number 2, or B, sorry, I guess these are A, B, C, D, these are letters. Okay, sorry, so that was A. B, name 3 things you would go through on a train journey. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so here is our train. Choo-choo. All right, so here is our beautiful little train. Has some smokestacks. Now, it's going to go through some things. So, what's it going to go through? What do you think? So remember the example sentence? I walked through the forest, or it was so hot today, I really wanted some air conditioning, so I walked through a building. I walked into the building and out of the building. So here's that little image. So here's the door. So this is me, whoop, and then I go out, I go on the other side. So this is through. So what will a train go through on its journey? So feel free to write out your answers. Tunnels, very good, absolutely. So tunnels, for sure. Trains definitely go through tunnels. So this is a tunnel, by the way. Typically, these are built when there are mountains. You can go through a mountain tunnel, for example. What else can a train go through? So it's going to go through tunnels. Anything else? Forests, very good. A train could definitely go through the forest. Yeah, maybe after the tunnel journey, maybe after it goes through the tunnel, it's going to go through the forest. For sure. What's something else a train could go through? I'll give you a hint. It can't go through, no, actually, I was going to say it can't go through a building, but that's a lie. Some buildings have tunnels, so it could go through a building maybe. But one idea is it can go through the mountains. So maybe there's a lot of mountains, but the train could still go through them. So it can go through the mountains. Have you guys ever been on a train that's gone through the mountains? I don't think I have. The Rocky Mountaineer train goes through the mountains. It's a very famous but expensive train ride in Canada. You can go through the Rocky Mountains on a train. Sounds fun. I think it's a little bit too expensive for me, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to erase the board. Good stuff, guys. I like your answers. Stay creative. Okay. So. All right. Name 3 things you can walk across. Okay. So, This is C. Walk across. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So usually when we're saying across, imagine here is some water. There's a river and you can't swim. So you're going to have to go across something in order to get to the other side. So what kind of things can you go across? Any ideas? A bridge, very good. Someone said a bridge. Yeah, you can walk across bridges. Plural form, bridges, very good. Any other ideas? You can walk across. Oh, someone said a log. Good, yeah, you could walk across a log. So sometimes I do this when I go hiking. I have to walk across a log on the river because there's no bridge. So yeah, you can walk across logs for sure. And streets, very good. You could absolutely walk across the street. Streets or roads, it doesn't matter which one you use. Roads, avenues, streets. Nice. Okay, good stuff, guys. How are we feeling? So I'm going to get rid of this picture. Hope we're feeling all right. Hope we're doing good. Name 3 sports. This could be tricky where you jump over things. I don't even know if I could answer this one. Okay, well, let's try. Okay, so name 3 sports where you jump over things. Okay, so remember what jump over is? So let's say here's a big rock. So remember, to jump over means to go like whoop, and you land on the other side. So remember the cat that jumped over the wall. So what are some sports where you jump over things? I can only think of one right now, but there's probably more. I'm not really good with sports. I'm not a sporty person. Can you tell? Okay, 1, 2, 3. If you can only think of 1 or 2 sports, that's okay. No pressure. Okay. I'm trying to think of the name of that sport, but yeah, feel free to give me some answers if you have any ideas. So I believe I think this is the correct term, hurdle jumping. So this is where you have these hurdles and you got to go woo over the hurdles many times in a row. I don't know, I think it's called hurdle jumping, but these are hurdles. I'm going to write that down. Hurdle, this is a noun. Usually only used in like the Olympics or sports. Jump over, what else? Someone said gymnastics. That's a good one. Yeah, gymnastics. Maybe you do have to jump over something in gymnastics. Yeah, like there's this huge thing. I think it's called a horse. And yeah, people have to go like this. And they're like, woo! And they jump over the horse. I don't think I ever got really good at this. I did this before. I used to do gymnastics long time ago. Okay, we don't have to think of a third one if you don't have any ideas. I can't think of a third one right now, but if you have any ideas, feel free to write them down. Okay, now, let's see. We are going to do E. Name 3 places you can walk through. Okay, 3 places. This is a good one, I think. Better than the sports one. 3 places you can walk through. Oh, yes. Okay. So remember the building I was talking about? So obviously that's one thing you could walk through. You can walk through a building or buildings. What else can you walk through? Any ideas? Someone said the forest. Very good. Yeah, you can walk through the forest. Absolutely. I love to walk through the forest sometimes. And let's see if we can do one more. Can walk through, what else? How about the mall? Some people do that, especially if it's a hot day and they want to escape the heat. They walk through the mall. Maybe they don't go shopping. Maybe they just simply walk through and they window shop. They're like, oh, that looks nice. That's cool. Okay, and then they leave. So many people love to walk through the mall. Okay, next. I think F. Let's do H. Let's skip F and G and go straight to H. I think F and G are a little bit funny. Okay. So, name 3 places you go past on your way to class. 3 places you go past on your way to class. On your way to class. So if you remember, you go past. So for example, let's say here's the library, but you're going towards school. So this is you, and you keep walking past the library. So what are 3 places you walk past on the way to school? So for me, I walk past, okay, what are some ideas? I walk past the Starbucks. This is real, I'm not kidding. I actually do walk past the Starbucks on my way to the school. How about you? Someone said Pacific Center, which is a big mall in downtown. Good, yeah, Pacific Center. Pacific Center. This is a mall. Anything else you guys walk past? What else is there? There's quite a few stores around. The bank. Very good. Yeah, someone says they walk past the bank. I do too, actually. There's a big CIBC on my way to work. Nice. Good. Okay. Okay, let's do... let's do letter I, and then I think we'll finish up there, because I want to get onto vocabulary. Okay, so I. Name 3 places you can't go into without buying a ticket. 3 places, this is I, you cannot go into. Go into. So this is similar to in, without a ticket. Without a ticket. So think of these as buildings or events. You cannot go inside. You cannot go into the events. So anyone have an idea? So basically, where can you not go? Like some things that are not free to do. Movie theater, good. Yeah, someone said movie theater. Yeah, or cinema is another word. The movie theater / cinema. Doesn't matter which word you use, both are common in the English language. Anything else? Concert. Somebody said concert. Absolutely. Usually you need to buy a ticket if you want to go to a music concert. Anything else? Okay, let's get rid of this part. Yeah. And, someone said the museum. Yeah, museums for sure. Museums. So that's where you go if you want to look at history, art, or all sorts of things. Yeah, usually you need to buy a ticket to enter the museum. Good, good. Okay. J, name 3 things you go out of. Okay. So this is an adjective, sorry, not an adjective. This is a preposition I did not explain earlier. Go out of. 3 things you go out of every day. So to go out of something is the opposite of go into. So this is a really weird building. So let's say this is you. You go out of the building. You walk out of the building. You go out of the building. So obviously one thing you can go out of are buildings, absolutely. Anything else? What else do you go out of every day? Oh, someone said the bus. Yeah, good. Buses. Anything else? Trains, very good. Yeah, you can go out of trains. Buses, trains, cars, planes. You can go out of your home. You can go out of a building. Yeah. Okay, good stuff, guys. Nice. Okay, so that is it for grammar. I know it was kind of long-winded today, and I apologize. It's just because there's a lot of prepositions to get through. But we are done with the grammar for now. We won't touch it again until Thursday, I believe. So, okay. So I'm going to get rid of the grammar, and we're going to pull out vocabulary. This should be more relaxed and easy. Okay. So, okay, I need to breathe more. So yeah, please pull out this sheet. It should have a lot of nice, colorful pictures on your version. Mine's black and white, don't mind that. And we're going to learn some vocabulary related to the neighborhood. Okay, but first I gotta get rid of all the stuff on the board. Okie dokie. So, vocabulary. Names of places. Names of places in the city. Okay. Alrighty. So, again, we have a lot. I'm not going to go through every single one because some of them I don't feel are necessary or some might be kind of obvious. If there are any that I do skip over and you really want to know what it is, just let me know and I can explain it for you. Okay, so, let me just fan myself off a bit because I'm getting hot. City center. This is the first one we're going to do. So as you can see, there's lots of tall buildings. That is basically the city center. Sometimes we call it downtown. So, for example, I live near the city center of New Westminster. All right, that's my city. Remember? You remember this preposition? Near. I live close to the city center. All right. So, how about you guys? Do you live in the city center or do you live near the city center? Or do you live far from the city center? Let me know in the comments. Okay. All right. So, next let's do sidewalk. Let's do sidewalk. Oh, you'll notice there is UK, that means United Kingdom. And then you notice there is US, which is United States, USA. So typically, because we are so close to the United States, most Canadians use very similar terms to the US ones. So I'm not going to go over the UK ones. This is just kind of more for fun. If you do ever go to the UK, it could be useful. But just to keep things easy, I'm just going to go over the US terms. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. That was a gross sounding cough. I'm not sick, I swear. Sidewalk. Okay, this is a good word, I think. So, as you can see here, you have the road, very busy road with cars. Now, the sidewalk, this is often where people walk. So this here is a sidewalk. These are important in a city, you know, so people can walk around and get places. So that's a sidewalk. When you are walking in the city, do you walk on the street or do you walk on the sidewalk? I hope you said on the sidewalk, because I always walk on the sidewalk. I try to walk on preposition, the sidewalk. I walk on the sidewalk. Okay. And what's next? Let's see. Maybe we should do parking lot. I didn't circle parking lot, but let's do it anyway, just in case. Okay. So, parking lot. This is where you can park your car. So, here you can see, this is basically where you park your car. Pretty self-explanatory. So for example, some buildings in Vancouver, they do have a parking lot, but some don't. Does your building where you live have a parking lot? Mine does. I have a parking lot. So my husband always parks his car in the parking lot. The parking lot. So we have one underground of our building, thank goodness. Some people have to park their car on the street, which is not as safe, unfortunately. Okay, let's flip over to this page here. Excuse me. Okay, now if you have ever lived in Vancouver, which some of you might have, you may have noticed that there is an interesting looking lane. It's very narrow, but it has a little bicycle symbol. So this is what we call a bike lane. So this is where people who ride bicycles, wearing a helmet of course, can ride their bicycles. You have to forgive me, this is a very bad drawing of a bicycle. It is called a bike lane, right? Yes. So it's called a bike lane, or you can call it a bicycle path. But typically, bike lane is very common in Vancouver. So Vancouver has many bike lanes or many bicycle paths because people love to ride their bikes in Vancouver. Excuse me, sorry. All right, now let's get rid of parking lot. Here we have something called Crossroads. Now this is not a term I hear very often. Typically I call this an intersection. Okay, intersection. But I suppose you can call it crossroads. So typically, let's say for example, there is a car crash. This is where car crashes usually happen. So a car crash happened at the intersection. At the intersection, or at the crossroads. Okay, and because of this collision at the intersection, now we have a very, very long traffic jam. So now there are so many cars waiting, and there's more cars here, there's more cars here. So this is a traffic jam. Traffic jam. So this is when there are so many cars on the road that you can barely move. Sometimes it's just regular traffic, people going to and from work. Sometimes traffic jams happen because of accidents or collisions. Do you guys get really bad traffic jams in your hometown? Like in your city where you come from, do you have really bad traffic jams? You can let me know in the comments if you do. Vancouver can get some really bad traffic jams, especially when we have to cross a bridge. So yeah, there's a lot of people who drive cars in Vancouver. So traffic jams are common. Okay, so back to this kind of ugly drawing. Okay, so let's say it's nighttime now. The stars are out, but it's very dark. So how are we going to see where we're going? Here's how we do it, with a street light. Doo-doo. All right, so here's a couple of street lights, and they make everything brighter. So these are called street lights or street lights. Okay. Where you live, do you have any street lights? Do you have a lot of street lights, or just like 1 or 2 street lights? Where I live, we have a couple street lights, so my neighborhood is pretty bright. So I feel safe when I have to walk home at night. If you don't have street lights, it's really dark and it can be scary to walk home alone in the dark at night. So hopefully your neighborhood has some street lights. This definitely makes things safer. Okay, so we're going to go to here and let's do the roundabout. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this traffic jam, the intersection. All right, so what is a roundabout? So I think a roundabout's pretty self-explanatory. So it's basically, sometimes it's called a traffic circle. So basically, you know, you go here, you're going to have to you can go around and around, but eventually, you know, you might want to turn off here, or you might want to turn off here, or you might want to turn off here. So this is called a roundabout or traffic circle. I feel like my parents use the term traffic circle pretty often. Okay, so here's the first exit. Here's the second exit. Here's the third exit. Okay, so that's if you're entering from here. So let's pretend you enter, and you have to leave the roundabout at the third exit. Okay, so first, second, third. Okay, bye-bye. We're out. So leave the roundabout at the third exit. All right, so what else? So some of these I feel are pretty basic. Again, traffic lights. I feel like you guys might be familiar with this. Actually, maybe I will write it down because it could be confused with street lights, I suppose. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. Whenever there is an intersection, usually, so let's say here's an intersection, you're going to pretty much always have a traffic light. Sometimes they're sideways, but in Vancouver, usually they are, trying to look at this picture, usually they are vertical, like this. So this is a traffic light. Traffic light. Sometimes we call it a traffic signal. Sometimes it's called a traffic signal, but usually we say light. Red, yellow, green, the usual, you know. Okay. In your country, are the traffic lights vertical like the ones here in Vancouver? Do they go up and down? Or are your traffic lights horizontal? Do they look like this? Do they kind of go across? What do the traffic lights look like in your country? You can let me know in the comments. Oh, someone said like the second one. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so they're like this. I see. This is pretty rare in Vancouver. I don't think I've seen this in Vancouver. Vancouver, it's almost always like this. Okay. School. I think you all know what a school is, so I'm not going to go over this too much. So, road sign, again, like that's fairly, like pretty obvious. But yeah, road signs, you know, typically they're at the side of the road and they might be telling you, don't turn right. You're not allowed to turn right or something. So this is a road sign. It can tell you anything from directions to things you can and cannot do on the road. And what else do we have? Okay. Library. Okay, I circled this one, but I think you all know what the library is, right? It's where you can take out books for free. So, do you have a library in your neighborhood? You can tell me the answer. You can type out an answer for me below. My neighborhood, we have one library 10 minutes away from where I live. Sometimes I go to the library. Sometimes I go to the library to get a book out. All right. Someone says no, they don't think they have a library. Oh, that's okay. Downtown has a very nice library if your neighborhood does not have a library. So you just go to the downtown library. You'll have a good time, trust me. Although it might be closed right now due to COVID, unfortunately, so maybe don't go there. Go there after the COVID situation has cleared up. I think the library in New Westminster is still closed, unfortunately, so I haven't been to the library in a very long time. Okay. Bus stop. Okay. So I think we all know what a bus stop is, right? So the bus stops in Vancouver kind of look like this. I think they have like bus written on it. Bus stop. So here's me. Every morning when I come to work, I'm always waiting at the bus stop. So I wait for the bus at the bus stop. Do you guys have to wait for a bus at the bus stop? Or maybe you wait for a train at the train station. Okay, so I'll write down a sentence. I wait for the bus or the train at the bus stop or train station every morning. Every morning. Okay, somebody said yes, they wait at the train station. All right, good. Me too. I wait at a bus stop, then I wait at a train station, then I walk to work. So it's a little bit of a long journey for me to get to work, but not that bad, not that bad. All right, so just remember, usually wait at the bus stop or wait at the train station. And then if you're walking in a direction, you can walk to the bus stop. Okay, next, what do we have here? It says petrol station. Now, petrol is a very British term. It's short for petroleum, which is what fuels your vehicle or car to move. Now, in English, well, I mean, when I say English, sorry, I mean in North American English, we say gas station. We usually don't say petrol station. We say gas station. So this is where you are going to go to fill up your car with gas. And then here's like, yeah, the gas goes in here. When you go to the gas station, sometimes you can buy chips, candy, snacks at the convenience store at the gas station. So sometimes gas stations will have like a little store where you can buy candy from or snacks. Okay. Whew. Do you guys ever go to the gas station in Vancouver? Maybe you don't unless you have a car. Whenever I borrow my husband's or my sister's car, I go to the gas station to fill up my car with gas. So yeah, maybe I go to the gas station, for example, once a week. Once a week. Okay, this is more my husband. He drives to and from work every day. He goes to the gas station once a week to fill up his car with gas. All right. Hospital. I think you all know what a hospital is, right? So if you break your arm or if you're feeling really sick, go to the hospital and get better. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. So just remember, the hospital's a building, so you can meet someone at the hospital, or if someone you love got sick, maybe they are staying in the hospital. So for example, maybe my mother is in the hospital, is in the hospital because she is sick. We'll just say she is sick. So if someone's like getting treatment in the hospital, they are in the hospital. Okay, next, what do we have? Post office. Okay, so this is another building, a post office. This is where you can send mail and sometimes receive a package. So that's simply all a post office is. I think we have one that's a 10-minute walk away from where I live in the neighborhood. And what else? Police station. All right, this is a good one. Police station. Okay. So this is where you go. Maybe, for example, you lost your wallet. So if you lost your wallet, usually you go to the police station to report that your wallet is missing. Or if you find a wallet on the ground and you want to give it back to the person, you can bring that wallet to the police station and maybe someone will come back for their wallet and be really happy. Do you guys have a police station in your neighborhood? I think we kind of do, but I don't know. I wouldn't call it my neighborhood. It's like a 30-minute walk away from my house. So no, I don't have a police station. Do you guys have a police station in your neighborhood? You can let me know in the comments. Okay, somebody else said no. Okay, maybe not many neighborhoods have a police station. I don't know. Okay. Oh, so I'm like flipping all over the place. Sorry, guys. I totally realized there's a couple I missed here. Here we have the airport. So if you want to fly somewhere, obviously you go to the airport if you want to take a flight. Well, this is bad. Okay. So yes, here is our airport. So when you come to Canada, the very first place you come to is the airport. You know, it's called YVR. So maybe this is the first place you have ever been. Okay, in Canada that is. And what else do we have? Hotel. I forgot to do hotel. All right, so let's get rid of this. Oh, hey. Okay. So what is a hotel? You may know this already. A hotel is where you stay for some money. So for example, maybe for $100 per night, you can stay in the Hilton Hotel. It probably costs more than that actually. But usually a hotel, you get a nice bed, you get a bathroom, shower, fresh, clean towels. So that is a hotel. I don't think many people have a hotel in their neighborhood, but some people do. There's actually a hotel in my neighborhood, but it's really old and it shut down. It's closed. So there's an out of business hotel in my neighborhood. I'll give you an example sentence. So I went to Victoria this past weekend and I stayed at an old, dirty hotel in Victoria. In Victoria. It was not the Hilton. It was no Hilton. Trust me, it was kind of dirty, not the nicest. So I stayed at an old dirty hotel in Victoria. Maybe you've had this experience too. Okay. How are we doing, guys? We okay? All right, so let's get through some more of these. We may not finish all of the vocabulary before the end of the class. That's okay though, because I don't want to spend the next class talking only about the assignments. I want to do a little bit more vocabulary, then talk about our assignments. All right. Supermarket. I think supermarket is a good one. Okay, let's get rid of the hotel. Okay. Supermarket. Supermarket. Another word for this, we call it a grocery store sometimes. Grocery store. So this is where you can buy all sorts of things, such as food or house cleaning supplies, like dishwasher detergent or cleaning clothes detergent, paper towels, toilet paper, you know, the important stuff. So that's what a supermarket is. One of the most important stores, perhaps. So, for example, I bought my dinner at the supermarket. At the supermarket. So that's what I might do tonight because I don't feel like cooking. So maybe I will go to the supermarket and buy my dinner from there. Yeah, so that's the supermarket. Do you guys have a supermarket or grocery store in your neighborhood? We have a couple in our neighborhood. They're all about a 10 to 15 minute walk away, but they're fairly close, like they're pretty close. Now, what's next? Garage. Okay, let's do garage. So what is a garage? So as you can see here, there are a lot of, this is where you fix your car if it's broken. So if you're driving your car and then your car breaks, what do? You bring it to a garage. There we go. You bring it to a garage. Or you can call it an auto repair shop. That's another way to say it. It doesn't matter which one. Car repair, auto repair shop, garage. So this actually happened. My husband's car broke down 3 weeks ago. So my husband brought his car to the garage to get it fixed. To get it fixed. Okay. Have you ever had to do this? Have you ever had to bring your car to the garage to get it fixed because it broke down. If you've never had to do this, you're very lucky, and pray that it doesn't happen to you because it's not fun. Okay, I need some water now. Oh, that's better. Okay. Okay, so I think we're almost at the end of our second class. So I will have to finish the rest of this vocabulary off in our last class, so don't worry. So have a nice 10-minute break, guys, and we will see you again soon. Bye. back to class. Okay, last 50-minute session. We're almost done, guys. So, like I said, I want to continue with a little bit more vocabulary. After that, I will let you guys know how I would like you to do your written assignment. Okay, so going back to vocabulary. All right, let's go to this lovely little bakery. You all know what a bakery is, correct? Oh, smacked my arm against the wall. Okay. Not a barkery, a bakery. Okay. Bakery. So this is where you can get some yummy, delicious bread, or some cakes, cupcakes, and all that yummy, yummy sweet stuff. Okay. So sometimes I buy my bread from the bakery. Or I could say at, doesn't really matter in this case, the bakery. Do you guys ever buy your bread from the bakery? Do you guys like to go to the bakery? Let me know in the comments. Do you have a bakery in your neighborhood? I do not have a bakery in my neighborhood, alas. I wish I did. I love the bakery so much. But the bakery does not love me. So maybe it's better that I don't have a bakery. Otherwise, I'd have a big bakery belly. But that's okay. All right, so someone else said yes, they love to go to the bakery. That's awesome. All right, okay, jumping ahead. Market. Okay, market. So the market, this is similar to supermarket, but when we talk about the market, usually it's smaller than the supermarket. So a market usually sells maybe some fruits and vegetables, and maybe it'll even sell some baked goods like bread. So we call them baked goods. Maybe some toilet paper, but usually not. So supermarket, think of like big, supermarket. You can buy everything. Market, you can buy some food, fruits and vegetables, baked goods, maybe some meat as well, meats and fish. So these are often smaller, more local stores. Do you have a market in your neighborhood? I have a market in my neighborhood, maybe 15-minute walk up the hill. It's a really nice market. It has all of these and it's cheap. I love the market more than the supermarket actually. Support your local market. And what else? Okay, next. This is my favorite thing in the city. One of my favorite places to go in the city is not the pub, not the bar, but the cafe. So at a cafe, as you can see here, it's a nice little place to hang out. Often you can get coffee and tea here. And here you can also get sometimes some food like breakfast or lunch. And often you sit down and you just chat with your friends. So I always go to a cafe to study. So I often go to a cafe to study because I have trouble studying at home. So I go to a cafe, open my laptop, sit down on a chair and study at the cafe. Do you like to go to cafes? You can just tell me yes or no if you like to go to cafes. I love to go to cafes, but there are no cafes in my neighborhood. I have to walk 20 minutes to the closest cafe, unfortunately. I guess there's a Starbucks. I guess that counts as a cafe, right? Right? Okay, what else do we have? Oh, and of course, restaurant. Okay, restaurant. So what is a restaurant? You might know this already, but a restaurant, this is where you sit down. So you're going to sit down and you're going to eat food. So you sit down and eat. So I love restaurants. I love to go to restaurants. I don't do it every day, but maybe once or twice a week. My husband and I go to a restaurant. Do you have any restaurants in your neighborhood? If so, what are the names of the restaurants? Tell me your answer in the comments. So, in the restaurants in my neighborhood, we have a few. We have a Hong Kong restaurant, which is pretty delicious. We have a Lebanese restaurant, which is very popular. So we have a couple of restaurants where I live. Okay, next up, we have a clothing store. Okay, clothing store. This is where you go to buy clothes. Okay, clothing store. Clothing store. Okay, so in my neighborhood, we have, how many clothing stores do we have? We have maybe 2 clothing stores, but they are expensive, so I never go to them. Okay. Do you guys have any clothing? Okay, someone said they don't have any restaurants in their neighborhood. Oh, that's fine. Maybe one day a restaurant will come into your neighborhood. Okay. And okay, we're almost at the end. We're getting close. Amusement park. This is a good one. Most people don't have this in their neighborhood, I think. This is rare. Amusement park. So this is where you go to like have fun on the roller coasters. So, woo, woo. And maybe, okay, this pen is dead. Let's get a new one. Maybe you have a Ferris wheel. This is a very bad picture. I apologize. But it might look like this. Oh dear. Okay, this is not turning out how I hoped. But this is what an amusement park might look like. Oh, this pen is also not very good. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. So this is an amusement park. Ooh. So when I was a child, once a year on my birthday, I would go to the amusement park with my grandmother. So I really loved the amusement park when I was a child. So do you guys like to go to amusement parks? Do you like to go to amusement parks? Let me know if you do or not. Now I don't like them as much. When I was younger, I loved them. Now I could leave them or take them. I'm not a huge amusement park person. Okay. And okay, moving on to the second to last page. So let's get rid of clothing store. Now, next up we have sports center. Okay. Sports center is not something we use often. Another word we could potentially use is community center. So a community center is a place where you can play sports like basketball or tennis, or you can take art classes, or maybe even music classes or dance classes. And sometimes they even have a swimming pool. So this is obviously where you go for a swim, do your front stroke, do your back stroke, do your breath stroke. So sometimes community centers will have a swimming pool. So this is a term that I hear more often than sports center. Now, do you guys have a community center in your neighborhood where you can do these kind of things? Where you can play sports, go swimming, maybe you can even exercise. So you can lift some weights. So we can call it like an exercise room. I do not have one in my neighborhood, unfortunately. We would have to drive for 5-10 minutes to our closest community center. So I don't have a community center in my neighborhood. Maybe you guys do though. If you do, use it. They're really awesome. Okay, what is next? Playground. Okay, a playground is like a smaller, more boring version of an amusement park, I suppose. So this is a rather tiny picture. It's hard to see. But on the playground, so often, you know, you're going to have swing sets. Maybe you're going to have a slide. And so that is a playground. So I used to play at the playground. Not the ground, the playground when I was a child. So in this example, it says the children are shouting and running in the playground. So you could say in the playground as well, because the playground's pretty big. All right, and next, what do we have? We have a bridge. Okay, almost done, guys. Almost done this vocabulary. Bridge. Okay, what is a bridge? I feel like you might know this, but if you have a body of water and if you want to go to the other side, okay, let me rewrite this. What you're going to have to do, you're going to have to go across something called a bridge. All right, so let's make a nice fancy looking bridge. Woo! Maybe it's a nice suspension bridge. So often people, you can drive across a bridge, or you know, you can walk across a bridge. So typically we use the word across. So the cars drove across the bridge. But if you are just standing there looking at a view from the bridge, you could say, oh, he is standing on the bridge. He is standing on the bridge. Okay, so that is bridge. And last two, park and zoo. Okay, so often you can find a playground within something that's even bigger. And this is called a park. So maybe there are many trees. And maybe there's like a nice path. So here we are with our trees. Okay, my apologies. I think these pens are dying out on me. Let me just grab a new one. Okay, here we go. So this here is a playground, but this whole thing right here is a park. So, for example, usually we say in the park. So, I love to walk in the park. I love to walk in the park, especially Stanley Park. I love to walk in Stanley Park. It's beautiful. There's so many huge trees and lots of cute animals, like ducks. Do you have a park in your neighborhood? I am pretty lucky. I think we have 2 parks in the neighborhood I live in, and we go to them fairly often. So yeah, I really like the parks that are in my neighborhood. Let me know if you guys have a park or not in your neighborhood. Someone said yes, they have a park. Very cool, very cool. Okay, last one. Zoo. Okay, so this is where the animals are. So you got like elephants, giraffes, monkeys. So here is my cruel drawing of an elephant in the zoo. And then this is where people get to look at the elephant. Woohoo! Okay, so I went to the zoo last weekend. This is not true. I did not go to the zoo, but let's just pretend. So, do you guys like going to the zoo? Yes or no? When I was a child, I liked going to the zoo because I loved to look at all the big animals. Now I feel a little sad when I have to go to the zoo and see animals in a cage. But I think children really like going to the zoo. I still love animals, so maybe I'd still have fun going to the zoo myself. Okay, guys, so that is it for vocabulary. Do keep this on hand because these are some very good words to know, especially for your assignment, which I'm going to talk about right now. So just hold on tight while I get some water. And I would like you to please pull out this sheet right here. This is your assignment, and it has all of the instructions on it. Okay, so I'm just going to erase this. All right, and get rid of this. Get rid of all these markers. Say goodbye to the zoo. Okay. How are we doing? I know we had a lot of grammar and a lot of vocabulary to get through, so I know it's probably like a bit of a big, crazy lesson, but you're doing awesome so far. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Okay, so one last push. The last 30 minutes, we'll talk about our assignment. Okay, assignment. So the title is, It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Okay, so I'm singing the Mr. Rogers song again. In the neighborhood. Why am I so out of breath? This is crazy. Okay, so, okay, sorry. Let me catch my breath. Okay, that's better. So, what are we going to be doing? This week, you are going to talk about your neighborhood using directional prepositions. Okay, so basically, let me see. So I want you to please use some directional prepositions. Prepositions. Okay. For example, in, on, at, next to, between, across, and so on and so forth. So, feel free to refer to like these sheets here. Both of these are really good. So make sure you look at these when you're writing your assignment out. They will help, they will help you lots. Okay, so I want you to write 3 paragraphs. So 3 paragraphs. Okay, do you know what a paragraph is? So this is an example. So here is an example from one of the teachers here at GC. So this is 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. So your assignment should be about this long. So half of a page. And please remember to use these prepositions. Maybe you could use them. It would be nice if you could use 8 directional prepositions. So try to use 8 of these, okay? Try to use 8 different directional prepositions if you can. And maybe I would like you to use 5 vocabulary words. So for example, school, hospital, bridge, etc., etc., etc. You can use more than 5, that's totally fine, but try to use at least 5. Once again, this can really help you. Try to use this to help you with your vocabulary. Okay, so what are we going to do? So here you've got some ideas of what you can write about. So you can write about some landmarks around your neighborhood. Landmarks around your neighborhood. Neighborhood. So for example, what are some landmarks? Maybe important buildings, for example. Important buildings. Or maybe things like mountains or rivers. What else? I think that's good. Yeah, those kind of things. So like maybe there's a zoo nearby, or maybe you have a hospital or a library close to where you live. Some nice places to eat or go shopping. All right. Nice places to eat. So such as restaurants. And you could say, what kind of restaurant? Is it McDonald's? Or is it a fancy Italian restaurant? Sushi restaurants? Nice places to eat or go shopping. Go shopping. Okay. So for shopping, like do you have malls or clothing stores, clothes stores, shoe stores, etc.? You could include cafes under restaurants. Yeah. Okay. So I want you guys to you can take a picture of this if you need to. So these are how many prepositions I want you to use. These are how many paragraphs I want you to write. I want you to write 5 or more vocabulary words. And here are some ideas of what you can write about. So I'm going to let you take a picture, but I'm going to erase it in just a second. So I'm going to erase it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Ooh, spinny spin. All right. I'm going to get rid of the upper half. Alrighty, and what else can you write about? The types of people who live around you. The types of people who live around you. Okay, this might be a little bit more difficult. So if you can't think of too much, that's all right. So for example, in my neighborhood, many families live around me, but also many young couples. So I have many families and young couples living around me. Maybe you have older people or seniors who live around you in your neighborhood. So think about, and you could think about, their personality. Are they friendly or nice people? Or are they grumpy or mean? Or are they shy or quiet neighbors? Or are they loud and noisy neighbors? These are the kind of neighbors you don't want. You do not want loud, noisy neighbors. Oof, no thank you. I prefer quiet neighbors. I like quiet neighbors better. So yeah, think about what kind of people live around you. Okay, and the last thing, the infrastructure. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this. Infrastructure. Okay. The infrastructure. Okay, so this might be kind of similar to landmarks. Okay, so the infrastructure. So landmarks can be natural. Infrastructure is always like buildings or bus services. So maybe bus stops, train stations, airports. Are there any airports near you? Or police stations? How about hotels? Hotels, etc. Supermarkets. Supermarkets, I'll put that down. Supermarkets. Okay, so infrastructure. This is a good word. Infrastructure. This is a noun. N is for a noun. So infrastructure are the services that help serve the community. So the services that help serve a community. Serve a community. Another good example is a community center. Do you have any community centers in your neighborhood? So these are some very good examples of infrastructure. So these are not natural things. These are made by people. So feel free to take a picture of this if you like, but I am going to erase it in just a moment, and I'm going to provide you with my example of what your assignment could look like. So go ahead, take a picture, and I'm going to erase it in 3, 2, 1, she down. Okay, so for the last 20 minutes, I suppose, I'm going to, whoopsies, there it goes. Oh, I feel like an old lady every time I bend down. Sore bones. Okay. Actually, I want to ask you guys a question. Where do you live? Like, where is your neighborhood? Do you live in Vancouver or Burnaby? Do you live in downtown or the city center? Or do you live far away from the city center? Yeah, like which part of Vancouver do you live in? Don't tell me your address, that's a secret, but which neighborhood are you in? Feel free to type out an answer to me. Okay, so, all right, so I'm gonna write out an example of what your assignment can look like. So again, there is an example here. You can look at this example on your own at home to help you. Don't copy, obviously, but you can use it to help you. I'm going to write down my own example. So here we go. So let's say this will be the intro. So when you write your assignment, make sure you write an introduction. So you could say something along the lines of, today I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to tell you about my neighborhood. My neighborhood. Okay. So that's my introduction, my first sentence, kind of telling you what I'm talking about. So that reminds me, when you're writing an assignment, you often want to answer these questions. Who, what, where, actually, maybe not why, but let's follow these. So, for example, who, I, what, I'm talking about my neighborhood, and where. Okay, so my neighborhood, or you could say, yeah, my neighborhood is in, or I live in, remember, preposition, don't forget. I live in New Westminster. I live in New Westminster, which is 30 minutes away from, so here's another preposition, from downtown Vancouver. Downtown Vancouver by SkyTrain. So you do not have to copy everything I'm writing, obviously. I'm just giving you an idea. I'm describing where my city is. So it's 30 minutes from downtown Vancouver by SkyTrain. So that means you hop on the SkyTrain, you ride it for 30 minutes, and boom, you're in New Westminster. Ta-da! You should go there sometime. New Westminster is cool. I think it's cool, at least. Okay, so what's next? So now you know where New Westminster is. So let's see, let's talk about some amenities or some infrastructure. Okay, so about 5 minutes away from my home or my house is Moody Park. Okay, so this is a big park. So about 5 minutes away from my home is Moody Park. Sometimes I like to have a picnic in the park. So there's my preposition. So this is actually something I do. Sometimes my husband and I, we pack up our dinner, we go to Moody Park, sit down, we sit on the grass, and we like to have a picnic in the park. So this is something you could talk about. Maybe you can talk about a park you go to a lot. You can talk about your favorite cafe, or you could talk about a movie theater you like to go to. Let's see, what else should I mention? Let's see. What else is in my neighborhood? Okay. Near. Okay, so here's another preposition. Near my home is a delicious Lebanese restaurant where my husband and I sometimes eat. Sometimes eat. Okay. So this is also true. Near our home, we do have a really nice Lebanese restaurant. So again, a restaurant near your house is something you could talk about. Maybe your favorite restaurant. Okay, so this is my intro paragraph. You could take a picture if you like, but you don't have to. These are just to give you some ideas. Okay. Now, I want you to pay attention to something specific here. When you're writing an assignment, I want you to try not to write your assignment like this. I live in downtown Vancouver. There is a bus stop. There is a supermarket. There is a cinema. There is a McDonald's close to me. Try not to do that. It sounds boring. So notice how I have some, oh my goodness, what are these words called again? Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart, but I got some words that kind of connect sentences together. I don't know why I am forgetting this, but you know, at the beginning, I'm kind of writing out a variety of different words. Let's see. Whew, sorry, I don't know why my brain is super fried right now, if I can think of the term. But basically, don't write, there is blah, blah, blah. There is blah, blah, blah. There is, don't do that, okay? Just try to like add different words at the start of your sentence. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let me grab a glass of water. All right, so I'm going to erase this in 3, 2, 1. So this is me talking about some of the infrastructure near my home. So now let's do the middle paragraph. Get rid of all this stuff. What should we talk about in the second paragraph? Okay, oh yeah, I also talked about nice places to go eating. Let's see. Now maybe I can talk about my neighbors. Okay, so this is my second paragraph. My neighborhood has many different people in it. Okay, so there are many ethnicities. So for example, there are Indo-Canadians, so Canadians, people from India, Afro-Canadians, so Black Canadians. We have some Korean Canadians and Chinese Canadians. Like, we have many different ethnicities living in my neighborhood. There are many ethnicities of people. Some young families, comma, some young couples, and a few seniors. So seniors, those are people who are 60 or older, so older people. So we got a nice mix of people. Okay. My neighbors who live next to me, next to or beside is okay too, who live beside us are friendly or are nice, but I don't know them very well. So we don't talk too often, unfortunately, but they are nice people. Okay, so that's my paragraph about the people who live around me. So that's an example of what you could write. Again, this could be tricky, but try to think of some adjectives like nice and or angry, noisy, loud. Okay. Now, you can also talk about people, if you're in a condo, people who live above you, people who live below you. So that could be good. So actually, I should have talked about this sooner, but my building has 1, 2, 3 floors. So, and we live on the 2nd floor. So my husband and I, we live on the 2nd floor. So the people who live next to us, they are nice and they're pretty quiet. The people who live below us are noisy. They're kind of loud, but they're friendly. They're just loud, that's all. Okay, so take a picture of this if you want, but I am going to erase it and I'm going to do our last paragraph. All right, so take a picture. I'm going to erase it in 3, 2, 1, and it's gone. All right, okay, get rid of that. Let me know if you have any questions, by the way, if you want me to explain anything. Okay. So, now for the last paragraph. Okay, so maybe I can talk more about services. So this last part I'm going to kind of make up. Actually, no. Okay. So maybe not too far from where I live. From where I live is a large mall with a big grocery store or supermarket. Grocery market, no grocery store, sorry. Okay. Grocery store. I often walk to the grocery store to get food. Okay, so that's this is kind of a simple one, but just trying to put in as many directional prepositions. And let's see. What else could I talk about? There are some great pubs. So that's where you can get some really nice food and beers. There are some great pubs around. So that means kind of like around my neighborhood too. Neighborhood too. So this means also, and there are some great pubs around my neighborhood. All right, so now I'm going to write out my last 1 or 2 sentences. So this is what I call the conclusion. Okay, so we're going to kind of basically end our assignment and wrap it up in a nice little pretty bow. So in your final sentence, you could talk about maybe why you like your neighborhood or why you think your neighborhood is a good place. Or maybe you hate your neighborhood and you don't think it's a good place. So for me, let's see. So here's my final sentences. Overall, I think my neighborhood is a nice place. Convenient. You guys know what convenient means? So convenient, it means it's easy to use or easy to access. So this is a very good thing. For example, smartphones are very convenient because you can use your email, you can take a picture, you can make phone calls, and you can check Facebook or Instagram. That's why a cell phone is very convenient. A smartphone, sorry. Okay. So overall, I think my neighborhood is a nice, safe, and convenient place to live. And so what else? Maybe I'll add one more thing. If you have time, please come and visit my neighborhood. My neighborhood. Okay, so there we go. So this is kind of what I want your assignment to look something like. But remember, please read the instructions. Don't forget, try to add vocabulary. So please try to add some vocabulary from here. And please don't forget to use directional prepositions, okay? So please remember to put these into your assignments. Now, if you want more examples, I'm pretty sure that you might have this in your folder. You should have access to this. Here are many, many examples of people who have written about their neighborhoods. So again, please don't copy, but if you want to get some ideas of what to write about or how people talk about their neighborhood, this can be a good resource to look at. Okay, so your assignment, I know the due date, it's tomorrow, Wednesday. That's when I'm going to be marking it. So if you can, do try to get your assignment done by tomorrow. If you can't, it's not a big deal. I can look at it another time. But if possible, try to get it done for tomorrow. But I understand it's a little bit short notice, so don't worry. Maybe I could try to check the assignments on Thursday instead. All right. So I think we are at the end of our class now. We have pretty much talked about the assignments. We've gone over our grammar and we've gone over our vocabulary. Excuse me, sorry. I know it's been a bit of a long day with all the grammar and vocabulary we've done, but I think you guys did really well. So thank you so much for tuning in for this very intense day. And yeah, I hope you have fun with your assignments. I'll try to take a look at them tomorrow. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. I will be here again tomorrow, same time, same place. See you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Bye.